At some point in the digital age of boss babes, new money, and ambitious rookies, we stopped consulting our village's wisest. Women have been the heartbeat of the world within their respective communities, workforces, and families since the dawn of time. They are the magic makers, the peacemakers, and the ass kickers. Let's celebrate them with the matriarchy party. Good morning and welcome back to Matriarchy Party. This morning, we have such a special guest at the party, my best friend, Katherine Oyer. Katherine and I met many moons ago at a blogger meetup in downtown Phoenix. We locked eyes, or smiles, I should say. And as soon as I saw her gorgeous smile and sparkling eyes, it was like I was on the playground at 6 years old again and knew I had to make her my instant BFF. Something about her energy is the same to this day. She's just got a glowing aura that everybody wants to be around. A quick coffee weeks later. That date lasted into 4 hours of a coffee date, turned into a very fast friendship. We lived in the same apartment building. We planned Arizona Blogger Conference with our group of Phoenix Style Collective besties over a decade ago. It turned into me and her now husband being roommates in San Diego. Shout out to Townhouse 64. To all three of us being roommates there. To attending their wedding in Italy. Chris, we're not letting go of the reunion. It's happening in 2025, so just remember that. We have evolved into so many women and have lived many career lives since then. Katherine worked for many years in luxury retail and PR and is, like me, a serial entrepreneur developing several thriving businesses across industries, floral events, wedding planning, et cetera, throughout Arizona and California. She's a super mom to three, the magic maker to her own family and so many others around the country because instead of sourdoughing or tie-dyeing during the pandemic, her project ended up being fusing her passion for beautifully made international children's clothing into dreaming up Henri, an online turned brick and mortar gorgeous children's boutique in downtown Westfield, New Jersey. I'm overjoyed to have her here in the flesh, in person, because she lives across the country in New Jersey, as I said, in person in Arizona, with me on the podcast. Welcome, Katherine.
Yay! I am so happy to be here.
Yay! I'm so excited. This is so great. We thought we were going to have to do it, guys. And she's here in person.
I'm here. We made it happen.
What a delight.
We manifested this. We said, wouldn't it be great? We could do this in person. And here we are.
Caffeinated and ready to roll, as maybe you heard in that really speedy bio intro there. Well, when we think of a matriarch, we think of a woman who's the head of their family, tribe, or organization. When in your life did you feel like you had to demonstrate those traits, whether by necessity or not?
I am a mom to 3 sweet babies.
Sweet angels.
And, Chris and I got married and promptly after I found out that I was pregnant and knew I was going to become a mom, obviously. And ever since then, we've had 3 kids in a rapid amount of time, 4 years. And they are just, the lights of my life and also the most challenging thing in my life. So I think, motherhood really makes you step up.
Yeah.
You're don't expect it, but here we are.
Well, and I feel like before you were a mom, you've been like a ringleader of many organizations in the workplace and other places. So it's probably came very naturally. I feel like you're very a nurturing, loving, sweet angel. But some people have that and some people don't have that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I mother hen in a way, but maybe not as nurturing.
Yeah. Keep things together.
Yeah. I feel like that was such a natural role to gravitate to. And you wanted to be a mom forever.
I always wanted to be a mom. I knew that was something that I wanted to do. And I think that it surprised me how much work it is. I mean,
it's nobody told you that.
Nobody told me that. I'm listen, everybody says kids are hard. And I was not my kids.
No,
it won't be hard for me.
Easy. And I know better.
I really got slapped in the face, but here we are. The learning curve was steep, but here we are.
One thing Katherine and I really like doing is giving unsolicited advice.
Absolutely.
Especially about things that we don't know anything about.
Absolutely.
We think that we can do it. We'll figure it out.
Yes. And I wish that more people gave me tips, to be honest.
And I wish people gave it. Honestly, unsolicited advice is never a good idea. Ask people if they want your advice, because if you give it to me, I might cry.
Yeah, you're chances are.
But if I ask for it, please just help me, guide me.
Yeah.
Well, now you've been an entrepreneur for many years now.
Yes.
I won't say momtrepreneur because I can barely say the word. But I feel like success and the word success and what that means to you has evolved since we met and we were just baby children of 20. So how do you think, what did it look like then maybe for you? And what does it look like now?
I think back in the day, I was so career ready. I was itching to get out of college because I wanted to start working. I've always loved working. I thought I was going to be a corporate lady for my whole life. I couldn't wait to have a pencil skirt and heels. And I thought that's what success looked like. I thought it was, fancy lady suits.
Yes.
And showing up every day to a corporate office and, making things happen. I think that's what I thought in my head. And I, started work at an ad agency and I was like, this is it. I've made it.
I've peaked.
Forever.
I can wear pencil skirts at 5 ever.
Exactly. And then I realized I, have a serial entrepreneur itch in my body. So I think now success looks a lot different. I have taken not the corporate path after many years of trying to stick with it. And success to me looks like, having the ability to not make my own schedule, I would say, because when you're an entrepreneur, you work all the time.
Yeah, you gave up your 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
Work 24/7. But I think to have the flexibility to be present in my children's lives, to be available to them when I need to be, just to kind of forge my own path. I've always loved building things. And I think I feel most successful when I'm working on something that's growing, that's my own thing.
I love that. Lowering those cortisol levels is a measurement of success.
That is the only success. Low cortisol.
And you know what?
That's it. 2024, we're bringing it down.
We're trying to bring it down. We're just moving through life.
Exactly.
With the energy and vibes. No chaotic stress energy.
Exactly. The universe shall provide.
And it has.
And it has.
I mean, so you're brick and mortar.
Yes.
How old is it now?
My shop baby is about 1.5 years. But
gosh, and it seems like it was over 2 years. I mean, yeah, the business has been many, but you've had a storefront for not even 2 years.
Not even 2 years. We're coming up on 2 years, but yes, the business launched in 2020, and then we opened the storefront in 2022, which was always the plan. But obviously, opening a brick and mortar during a pandemic, not ideal.
Seemingly.
And also, didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I was just really YOLOing it. But yeah, so about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and it is a delight.
Let that be an encouragement in so many ways, because I think, well, as my Spotify Dayla said, Delulu, is this a Lulu? No, I think that you had so many transferable skills from marketing, branding, PR, and just such an eye for design and style. You knew what worked and would sell. Even before having children, I feel like you were collecting pieces. You were one of those knew about international designers. So there's a lot of baby and kid stores across the country, but Catherine's is the only that carries so many brands are only exclusive to you. I feel like, so it's very hard to acquire these international baby brands, Australia, Barcelona, etc.
Yes.
That when you would go on trips with, I was like, Katherine could tell you, but I'm going to mansplain her.
You do this.
She would go on vacations before she even had kids and go pop in these baby stores because she's just always had a passion for it. And it's hard to acquire. And mailing, as you can imagine, the shipping cost may not be worth ordering them online. It seems as simple in the digital age to just seems like a simple buy it and it comes to you. It's not the case for some of these brands that are exclusive to Europe and just all across the globe. So she started this company where a lot of these brands, you can only get them in her shop. And you're it's not in New York, it's not in LA, it's literally at Francis Henri. So gorgeous, beautifully made. Of course, the standards of international products in general are just so much higher.
So much better.
But I mean, they're, I would say, high end in a lot of ways. Not high end, but they're not Target prices. Yeah. But they're so they're heirloom.
Luxury.
Yes.
I like to think I go approachable luxury to inspirational.
Yeah.
There's a range.
There's a range of affordability in the store for sure.
There's always something.
And I've bought so many cool aunt gifts that make me look cool that are just very très chic for the little ones. But all of that to say, there's a couple different points I will land there. Nobody knows what they're doing when they're opening a business. Even if you went to business school, even if you were a PR pro, even if you worked in luxury retail and you know a lot of the back end and you got to learn from the greats that are still existing and crushing it in their own spaces. Nobody knows what they're doing, and you just figure it out while you're doing it. So if you have an idea, just go and do it.
Yes.
But then second of all, there's something to be said for being very niche. If you think that there's just a specific audience for this, you have celebrity clients now. You have repeat. I mean, it's great when people get pregnant. Keep the customers coming in.
Exactly.
Because you only keep making babies and keep me in business.
Yes.
But because you carry up until what age?
I carry up until 4T. So it's really babies and toddlers.
So I hadn't even considered that when I came to visit the store, that once babies reach they're 5, they're in kindergarten, they've aged out. So hopefully your younger siblings
Exactly.
Or you have some younger siblings.
And I will say next season, because everyone has been asking for us to go bigger sizes, we are going up one more size, so like 5/6. But really it's babies and toddlers. That's my niche.
That's your niche.
Yeah.
But I mean, they said that with this podcast. Let's stick to a niche. I could talk about everything because there is a customer.
Absolutely.
You don't need to appeal for every single person.
And even when I launched the business, I was just newborn to 2.
Yeah.
I was really little people.
Just a little ones.
Just a Yida babies.
Wow.
And because it was, in my house but I thought I'll start here. I mean, it's better than taking on, a huge business. Again, going back to, I knew what I was doing, but didn't really know what I was doing. So I'm like, let's start small.
Yeah.
We'll grow this thing.
And sticking with your gut worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's working and growing by the month. That's so exciting. What do you think was a time where asking for what you want paid off?
Ooh, that's a great question. In my first job, I was an intern and very quickly, made my needs clear that I wanted to be a full-timer. So I think I was the fastest intern to coordinator hire that the agency had ever seen because I was there pretty much 24/7, working for free, would do anything. And I got hired at a very low salary. Let it be known, in 2010, they didn't pay coordinators anything. I don't think they pay them now, and I was constantly asking to be moved up and constantly asking for more responsibility in my role. And I was able to, become an account manager. And then it was funny. I got recruited by Neiman Marcus. So when I made the switch to them, but right before that, I had been asking for the next phase in my career to be an account director. And I actually got the offer. I got 2 offers on the same day at the ad agency and then also at Neiman's for me to jump ship and go over to them. And so, I felt really on top of the world, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Because I thought, you know what? I'm doing this for myself. I moved to Arizona, didn't know any people besides Chris and then Courtney, and was really passionate about my career and wanted to move up and was willing to do whatever it takes. But I think there were a lot of people in like my group coordinator level that stayed at that level for a really long time because they were not
advocating.
Raising their hand. They're like, hey, I'm doing a lot of work.
So ask for what you want. What is the worst that could happen? No, not
Absolutely.
right now.
Exactly.
Maybe next time, but at least you'll be on top of mind when an opportunity does arise.
Yes.
You got to do it. And you know what's funny? There's a right way to ask for what you want. I mean, we were saying last night about examples of people asking for things that you're like, okay, have some self-awareness of people's time.
Yes.
And like you have a degree of secret sauce that maybe people don't want to. It depends. Like if you're looking for a work opportunity or a mentorship or an informational interview, be tactful or respectful in the way that you're reaching out, of sliding into DMs or emailing or the way that you're asking. I feel like there's a way to do it. But
Absolutely.
advocate for yourself.
I think the way to do it is if you're asking for something from someone else, make sure that you're giving them something that they need or want.
Yeah.
In the ask.
For sure.
It's like, hey, I would like to do more work for you and expand your business.
Yeah.
And in return, I would like a raise.
Right.
People aren't going to say no to that. It seems like a great idea.
They're like, I'm going to make you more money. In that case, you're just like, I can see the opportunity of X, Y, and Z. Absolutely. Or like, I could take this and build this whole division.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you take a chance on me.
That.
So?
Look at that. Just give
How hard can it be?
How hard can it be?
Boys do it. So, yeah, that always, when you can provide value in that way, and sometimes you have nothing, maybe if you're in college or something and you're looking to have, I don't know, you're looking to get in there. There are creative ways that you can still provide value, I feel like, or at least offer.
Yeah, I think you always have time. You're like, what can I help with? What can I take off your plate?
Right.
You want to be my mentor, but let me do some things for you.
Yeah, and maybe, that will just be a favor that will be redeemed when the time is right. But it's all about timing. And it's all about how you ask. But ask for what you want.
Yes.
Well, off of soapbox. Okay. How do you...
Courtney's tips
that nobody asked for. But if you're listening, maybe you did. How do you prepare for something scary? You probably have a lot of intimidating conversations and emails and proposals. And
well, this was scary. This podcast.
Oh my gosh.
My first podcast ever.
Hey.
Very exciting.
Welcome. You're doing great.
Thank you. How do I prepare for something scary? I would say taking the time. I am one who will fill all of my hours with things that I don't need to do. But if I'm preparing for something scary, I really try to hold some space to really think through why I'm feeling afraid. And then it's like, can I tackle those things in advance? So am I afraid because I'm afraid of what they're going to say? Am I asking something that I'm afraid they're going to say no? Mm-hmm. Am I afraid because they're not going to like me? People pleasers unite. And if I can kind of understand what area the fear is coming from, then I think at least I can be prepared. It's like, okay, this is what I'm afraid of happening. And if it happens, now I've thought through that, that being the outcome.
Yeah.
When I was in San Diego and I was working for a tech startup, I did a lot of speaking, and that was terrifying. And having to go.
See, and I don't see that at all. I see you as like such a calm, cool as a cucumber, peaceful little prepared.
No, hashtag anxiety. Hashtag anxiety all the time.
Oh, I don't get that from you.
Oh, yeah.
So your preparation is masking very well.
Yeah, it's working. Podcasts and puzzles help, just an early morning. Trademark. But yeah, I was doing a lot of speaking. And I think before that, just like being very prepared. I'm not one to make an outline or notes, which I should because I always feel better. But I think just making sure I know what I'm going into.
Yeah.
Is essentially what I'm trying to say. Make some bullet points, have a really good understanding of what I think is going to happen. And then just try to connect with the other person. It's like chances are, if you can make a connection, whether it's like a phone call or if I'm trying to speak to a new brand or, if I'm meeting a landlord because I'm looking at new lease space for the business, try to make a personal connection. And then it kind of just breaks down that wall of we're just two people.
Yeah. Relationship building 101.
Yeah, let's do cool things.
And ultimately, even if somebody's scary, like they're still a person.
It's still a person. They still want to wear a robe at the end of the day.
Yeah, so don't we all?
So like robe content, I could talk about that all day.
We're staying at a resort, and let me tell you, robes, the right coziness of robes, and maybe that's just more women of a certain age now, right before our eyes.
Listen,
that robes have been prioritized.
Comes
at you
fast.
Mid, some would say late for me, but I'm a little older.
Late, exactly.
Some would, not me, but. And we were giggling about the holding space for. I was like, I guess I should dissect the inside jokes that we have. But we went out to dinner, and this wonderful server at the end was like, we were like, thank you, everything was great. And he said to us, it was a pleasure holding space for you tonight. And I was like, I've never heard that in that. Never. I was like, that was outside of a yoga or Pilates class. And I was like, that is just so nice.
That is so nice.
So pleasant. And so now that's just like, you know what? It was a pleasure holding space for you. And it's so nice. And like, listen, we were both drinking the Kool-Aid and very woo-woo in a lot of ways, but it was great. Surprising in that it was great. So now I can't stop saying it. Yes. So now you too, carry it on.
Yes.
Well, let's get into the woman herself. Tell me about your matriarch today.
Oh my
Who we're talking about.
We're talking about my mom, Judy. We love her.
We love her so much. She's an angel.
Best. Truly.
She has moved with you to many states.
Many states.
To just be your biggest cheerleader advocate and now help take care of those 3 muffins.
Exactly. I say this daily and I say it to her. We don't know what we do without her. Like quite literally. She helps with our kids.
She's an angel.
She makes sure my house is not falling down, burning down all the time. I mean, I'm an only child and I have really leaned into that privilege, I would say, because my mom raised me by herself and, my dad was in my life, but my mom did all the heavy lifting. And I would say she took on that role in such an amazing way. It was almost like she was always meant to do that. She's just always been someone who was like, I'm a mom. That's like what moms do, I guess. But she handled everything so well. I mean, it's like never a point in my life when I think back that I haven't been outrageously supported by her. And I don't know what I would do.
I mean, when I see the way, like, moms are they're incredible. It's amazing. How do you do that? You prepare for the role that is unpreparable for. Mm-hmm. Is that a word?
It's unpreparable, except for the unsolicited advice people give you.
Except for, I'm sure everybody's got an opinion.
Exactly.
And listen, we just admitted that we give advice, but like to a mom, I would never. But I'm like, you think maybe you read all the books, you can prepare as much as you want, and then your kid comes out and he's exactly the opposite.
Totally.
And when you're doing it by yourself?
Can't even imagine.
Come on.
Can't even imagine.
It takes a village, they say.
Yes.
And
when I think about
a village of one.
I mean, I think less than 5 times in my life growing up did I have a babysitter.
Like she didn't know.
She took 0 days off.
Girls' nights?
She still takes no time off.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, I think she was really made for this. I mean, in my childhood, she worked at a school and she always, was like first, second, third grade. It's like that is her zone.
Yeah.
She's so good with kids.
She was a teacher.
She was a teacher. She was so good with kids. She just like understands kids.
Yeah.
She's just so kind and giving and she's just very present.
And talks to them in such a way, it's a gift.
Yes. And it was funny, always growing up, it felt like my mom took on the role of mom to so many other kids as well. I felt like, sometimes as an only child, I felt the feelings of jealousy. Oh. Because it was like my friends would come over.
Way to name your feelings, Katherine.
I know. I'm like, listen, this is taking many years. Here we are. And they would come over and like catch my mom up on like the things they were going through.
This is my mom.
And I was like, easy. I need to
There's only one
unload
duty.
onto her later. Don't take up all the space.
The bandwidth.
Exactly.
Yeah. She's only holding space for me.
Exactly. But yeah, she's just always been so kind and giving, and she will just at any moment drop what she's doing to help out. I'm just like, anybody.
That is not something that is teachable. That is something that is like a servant's heart that like you're either born with it or you're not.
Yes. And that's exactly it.
And not only like your flesh and blood, your children, but like other people, your friends, coworkers. It sounds like other people in the community. Like she'll just show up for people.
Yes.
So she worked inside of that home and outside of the home. Like,
yes.
And she was always a teacher your whole life, or
she always worked. Yep. So I was born in California. We moved to Seattle when I was 4. And up until that point, she did not work. She worked a little bit like the co-op where I was doing preschool, but not really. That was just, parents had to volunteer to take days. And then when we moved, she got a job at the activity center at the apartment complex we were living in.
Cool.
And so she would run all the programming. So they did tons of events. It was like Disneyland apartment complex. They were constantly doing ice cream socials. They had like block parties. It was crazy.
And the reason they did is because of Judy.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Judy and my very good friend, Devin, who her mom. That's how we met.
Your bestie.
My bestie, yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah. And so they planned all the fun events. Easter, Halloween, Christmas. I mean, any celebration you could think of. They were just, I don't know. This was a time where I guess disposable income in businesses was just rampant.
Like, it's a write-off.
It's a write-off. Listen, I'm like,
let's have a Halloween party.
Who's paying for this? Not us.
Nope.
I think that's what it was. That was the thought. The kids need it. And then she got a job at the school when I got a little older so that she could have summers off.
Beautiful.
It's always her thing. But I mean, for her to essentially design her life around my schedule.
Well, and do you think was being a mom something that she always wanted?
Yes.
She was like, she
always wanted. And I think it was a nice thing. She said something to me once that, because, me and my husband were always harassing her. Like, why didn't you get like a corporate job and take over the world?
Think I could.
Exactly. You're like, you know what? And I'm like, tips from your kid. I think that's really what you want to hear about.
I made the sacrifices for you.
Exactly. You're like, I did this for you. And she said, she had me a little later in life. And she was like, I had already lived that. Like I had done all that. I had traveled and I had worked a million jobs and I had
her own solo adventures.
Things. By the time, when I was born, she was 38 and she was like, I'm kind of in a phase now where this is what I want to focus on. Why would I want to hire a babysitter? I want to hang out with you. I'm like, I love that.
I love that. She got to have her cake and eat it too. So
exactly.
It sounds like.
Delightful.
Do you feel like she had, for all the cool and exciting things she did before pre-momming, like a dream job or like a career aspiration, or it was just never just.
Yes and no. My mom has always said that she is like not passionate about anything. And so, exactly. Not true. She's not passionate about anything. And so she never found something that she really loved that she wanted to like lean into fully. And it's funny because one, I think her passion is like early education, aged babies, which I'm reaping the benefits of because she watches our kids.
Thank goodness.
Most days of the week. We love her. Please don't
Again.
try to move away. And that and the stock market. She's like a wizard at investing. Like crazy skills that I 100% self-taught, obviously, because when we moved to Seattle, it was just me and her. And, she was working jobs that were not paying a ton.
Yeah.
And she was just like
dabbling
little bits. And like, I still remember when I was maybe in the 5th grade, she was like, want to buy a stock? And I was like, you bet I do. Don't know what that is. And she was like, well, tell me some companies that you like. And she was always asking me, like, tell me some companies that are kind of like in your radar. Like,
You're like, I'm 5, Mom.
I was like, Disney. Which,
yeah, of
you're
course.
welcome. Took that to the bank. Wow. Yeah. And so she was like one of the early people to invest in Amazon and
I'm sure
Starbucks.
she's like, oh, this little bookstore.
Literally.
Wow.
And Starbucks, because she was like, they make great coffee. And I was like, I mean, I guess
you're right.
That's all it takes, guys, to learn how to buy things that you like.
That you like.
And I was like, huh. And yeah, to this day, I still remember her. Like on Sunday mornings, she would like get out this little notebook because you had to do everything by hand. And she would like look at the little tickers and she would write down. She'd like keep an eye on where all of her stocks were moving. Amazing. Wow. And so she will say it's not a passion. And I'm like, that is not
That's
true.
a passion.
You're doing it on your time off. You're reading books. Wow. You're researching the things. I'm like, you know what I don't care about? That.
Researching the stock market.
Exactly. You know what I research all day long? Baby brands. So
I think it would be more lucrative maybe if I knew more about stocks and less about like TikTok drama.
Yes. And she's tried to tell me. I would be like, teach me about investing. And she sits there and it's like, you know, the look, the glaze. It just glazes over. And I'm like,
it's behind the eyes.
You do it for me.
Did she have any sort of routine or things she did consistently? I mean, other than her like stock researching and book reading, like was she doing that weekly money dates? Yeah.
She was doing it weekly. And it was funny. I wish some of these skills were transferable because I think I probably could have learned a lot. But no, she was always, it's like she had all of her stuff done before I was awake or before I was home from school. Or it always seemed like she was very organized, or after I went to bed, she would get all of her stuff done so that she was like very available.
She wasn't distracted when you were awake.
She wasn't distracted.
Wow.
Well,
and now, I mean, how early was she waking up at that time?
I mean, she had to be waking up at 5:30.
And so now you're waking up at 5.
I'm waking up at 5.
To prioritize yourself and have some quiet time.
Prioritizing other people. I'm not prepping anything for other people.
But it's still, that's how you can be the best for other people is because you take some time to care for yourself. So if it's like exercising or just enjoying your coffee or Katherine said podcasts and puzzles earlier, and that's where
Trademark pending.
Trademark. So don't try and take it, but
exactly.
But you just take some time to just like have clarity and only focus on that. It's a beautiful thing. So whatever you can do, you're setting yourself up, whether you're like, you're only going to be a whole person if you take care of you first.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
So I feel like in this age of like wellness and buzzwords and morning routines, everybody has one now, but like, I don't think my mom really did. I mean, in the 80s and the 90s, like that wasn't a thing. Like you just do whatever your family needs. So I feel like, yes, she was thinking about learning a new skill or like getting her finances in an optimal shape so that she could take care of you. Mm-hmm. It was still like her own time.
Yeah, like a little bit for herself.
Yeah.
But I think that is certainly something that I'm very cognizant of, that my mom sacrificed a lot of her own time, mental health, well-being. I mean, I think only having 5 babysitters is a great thing because we played a lot of card games and we played a lot of Candyland throughout my life. But also, in hindsight, feels like prioritizing herself was never something that she even thought about. It was like... It
was all about you.
Yeah, like push myself to the side, which... the guilt a little bit as a child of that, feeling like I kind of wish you had done some things for you.
But she did for 38 years is what she's saying.
It's what she's saying. Exactly. It's like, she's like, I'm telling you what the thing is. So like, stop making things up.
This is my priority now.
Yeah. This is
you don't need to create
a story in my head.
Yeah,
exactly. But it is very fun to see now that she is taking travel as a priority.
I love it.
And trying to see the world a little more. And she just booked a trip to Greece, which we're like, get out of here. But then we found out she booked it when all 3 of my children are on spring break. And we were like, wow,
great timing.
Played.
That is awesome.
Well played. Nice.
I'm so happy for her. I love that she's been traveling because when we all moved away from San Diego, she was not happy at first.
I know she was not. We did a little bait and switch, so I'm very lucky that
she agreed to San Diego. She didn't really agree to New Jersey.
Exactly. It really lined up that my mom retired from a school that she taught at for 18 years. Right at the time that my first baby was born. And so we swindled her into moving to California, to San Diego. We were like a mile from the beach. We really hyped it up. She had a little side job at the botanical gardens. What a life.
Life was good.
She hung out with my baby 3 days a week.
My husband and I lived on the apartment below. So we were 164 And
We were 264.
Chris and Catherine were 264.
What a time.
And we just called it Townhouse 64, as I said in the intro. And it was a time. We were a mile away from the beach.
Listen, we should never have moved.
I don't know.
We don't know
There's
what
so
we're
many
thinking.
regrets.
Yes.
Job was sucking the life out of me.
Well, yeah.
And then your husband ended up getting a different job elsewhere. But it was
Exactly.
just a beautiful moment in time. Like when you look
nice.
back and you're like, why did we, like, there are many things pulling us in other directions, but it was a magical time.
It was a magical time. If you guys have not visited Encinitas, now's your time.
Just do it.
Go
We have
to the
many
beach.
recs.
Listen, we have a lot of unsolicited advice about Encinitas. So whenever you're ready.
They say San Diego is America's finest city. And I mean, growing up in Arizona, like that's where people, if they're not going to Mexico, they're going to San Diego. Like that's where you vacation from here. It's our closest beach. So it's like, if you're a listener in Arizona, you've probably been there. But I just love Encinitas. I love it so much.
But yeah, so we somehow swindled my mom into moving to Encinitas. I mean, I would say yes to that too, to hang out with my baby a couple days a week because I was working
Was she there
for
2
a tech
years?
startup. Yes, she was there 2 years. And then we surprised her and said, hey, guess what? We're moving
Great news.
to New Jersey. Want to come? And she said, oh. No, I don't. Thanks for asking.
But I appreciate.
But then there we go. So selfless. She said yes. Moved with
begrudgingly.
us. Begrudgingly. She was like, oh, we're leaving. We're going
The beach
to
to the snow.
So awesome. I love it. But yeah, and ever since she's just been, she calls us Team Oyer, which is really precious.
So
and she's like, we're just Team Oyer. We got to make the things happen. She's like, I'm here for you guys.
Oh my gosh, what an angel.
I know. We're too lucky.
Ugh, it's so nice. I mean, like, I don't know, just having a support system, whoever your matriarch is, or patriarch, like just having family that is like unconditionally loving and supportive, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, a teacher, a mentor, the Miss Honey,
Yeah.
Mrs. Honey of your life, you know?
It's true.
I just watched Matilda again the other day. Gosh, just never stop telling them we love them and how much we appreciate them because
It's true. So if you're listening,
so
Judy,
lovely.
I love you.
We love you, Judy. I love you. What do you admire most about Judy?
I think her selflessness and just her servant leadership, I think is the business term. Just her ability to say yes to everything. And sometimes I'll call her and, if Chris and I really need a date night, or if there's always something that comes up. 100% of the time it's like, oh, I forgot that one of my kids has a dentist appointment, or I forgot that they have a birthday party. For example, Simon had a birthday party this weekend and I'm here living the life. Birthday party, you can only bring one kid. And so what are the other two kids going to do? Who are, 7 and 3. So unless they're just
I had
house
never
by
considered
themselves,
that dilemma before.
what do you do?
And then the other kids are sad.
Except the other kids are sad and in the house by themselves, apparently, because what do you do with them? So Chris took Simon to the birthday party. And then, so we call my mom, which her quote unquote days off are Saturday, Sunday, Monday. She's like, don't call me. I don't want to hear from you.
Lose my number.
And so we're like, hey, so.
Love you so much. We miss you.
Miss you. Can you come over, and hang with the kids for 2 hours? And it's always a yes.
It's never like I was really needing some.
No.
Never a boundary
it's
place.
Never a boundary. And she always says, she's like, listen, if I can't make it happen, I'll say no. Like if I don't want to, if
never
I'm too
been a
tired,
no.
it's never been a no. So I'm like, you promised me you'll
Super
say no.
Judy.
If it's too much. She never says no. I love her. Bless her. But yeah,
Selfless.
honestly, I could learn a lot of tips from being so selfless.
Well, what do you think you've inherited from her?
Ooh, that's a question. We always say we have the same ears. But I feel like, I think, I don't know. Not enough. She's a wonderful angel.
I mean, I think the people that we admire and respect and are in awe of the most are mirrors for the good things in us. So I think I've felt that love and unwavering support from you throughout the years. Of course, I've been, I think about this as a very silly example. We love Valentine's Day.
Love Valentine's Day.
We love it. And it's not even about the romantic with your husband, being whisked away. We love that part too. But it's pink and red. It's our favorite color combo. We love hearts on everything. We love notes. We love telling people we love them. We love candy. Everything else.
Everything
Just a
good.
day to
Everything
celebrate
good.
love. I don't
Yes.
care if it's commercialized. I don't care if it's made by the card maker company, Hallmark, invented holiday. It's a great reminder to tell people you love them. And when we lived in the townhouse,
Best time of our lives.
you decorated my car with little hearts and love notes for Valentine's Day. Oh, it's so sweet. And that's such a June thing. I feel like for so many holidays, you have like custom baskets. And I mean, yes, you have a kids' clothing business and kids don't like clothes, as we've found out.
They would just want toys.
Kids want toys, which you do sell too. But like you've always just gone above and beyond with like your gifts for Chris, just like making things feel celebratory, like meals and holiday. Like I feel like you have so much care and thought for the way that you live your life. And as much as like, I hear the way that you talk about yourself and they're just like, oh my gosh, I forgot this.
All the things.
Or I'm the worst. I can't believe I can't balance it all. But like, especially outwardly, like that is the way that you're like, it looks like it's a delicate dance. Like you're just floating through it and you just never forget and you always remember and you're always proactive and you're prepared.
Wow.
So I feel like you inherited a lot of things from Judy that you're not giving yourself enough credit for. And maybe at the time, Judy was just as critical to herself in the thick of it when you were the same age as that your kids were.
Yeah,
that's
probably true. And I think too, just a little bit, well, two things to your point. Yes, celebrating even the smallest of things was like very big for her. Just like holidays, we love them.
Yes.
Leprechaun traps, we're making them.
Oh my
We're spray painting pebbles. We're trying to trap them. Never got one. Still trying with my kids to this day.
0 out of how many
Can't
times?
Can't figure it out. But yeah, I mean, the holidays were a really big deal. Like she kind of went all out. And birthdays. I feel like I love my birthdays so much.
Yes.
And I think that was because of my mom. Like it was birthday week. Every day leading up to my birthday, I got a present. She used to tie this little string to my ankle. And I still can't figure this out. When I was asleep the night before my birthday, every year, she would tie a string to my ankle and she would run it through the entire house. And it was like little presents along the way. And it would like go through plants and it would go through, I don't know how she did this. I still can't figure it out.
In her free time.
In her free time. Exactly.
Between
cleaning the house after I go to bed, cleaning up,
learning the entire stock market, somewhere time in that.
She was setting up this like puzzle challenge.
Trap.
Yes.
Birthday
Amazing.
gift.
And so every year I would wake up and I would like feel my ankle and I was like, it's there. She did it again. She nailed it. So birthdays. And so like I do way too much for my kids' birthdays. Just all out. I love them so much. It's like always the kids come down now and they're like ready to see how it's decorated. So it's like they just give me a theme and I'll go. And like my middle baby Simon, who is just really trying to razz me all the time. He told me this year that he wanted his theme to be plates. And I was like, this is a challenge. I am up for it.
Your mother's son.
Wow.
You're like, I do love plates.
I do love plates. You are correct. Which thankfully he switched it to Rainbow Road, specifically Rainbow Road from Mario.
Okay.
But like not Mario, Rainbow Road.
The kids got taste.
And let me tell you, I nailed it.
Oh my, how did I not see pictures of this?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I never post on the internet anymore. Who has time?
Well, send me just private internet.
Private internet, exactly. Rainbow tassels all over the downstairs. There was a road. I made a cake. I went and got like the rainbow, like sugar candies, rainbow sprinkles. I mean, it was too much. I did too much, but I love it.
The most.
I love it so much.
But that's the things that like make core memories. Like obviously it stuck with you.
Yeah.
Much, I'm sure, to your husband's dismay of like, your birthday week. Okay, we get it.
Yeah, we get it.
No,
exactly.
You're like, it's still about me on my birthday.
It's still about me.
But luckily, he reaps the benefits of that too.
Absolutely.
Wow. What is the best advice you've ever received or something that stuck with you that Judy's told you?
Oh, there's something I think about literally all the time.
Yeah.
So this is like a heartbreak central. I was in high school. I really liked this boy.
There's always one.
There's always one. He didn't like me back. Well, I thought maybe there was a chance. So he had invited me to his house with like a bunch of friends. We were going to have like a movie night. And I was like, this is it for me. We are about to be betrothed. Tonight is the night.
Tonight is the night.
Yes. And I was like, in hindsight, I don't think there were any vibes. We weren't sharing the vibes, but I was picking up the vibes. And so we went, like a couple of my friends, a couple of his friends were having movie night. And throughout the night, he got really cozy with one of my friends. And like, we didn't.
Heartbreak in the moment.
Heartbreak central.
Can't leave. You just.
No, exactly. So I sat there and I watched this dumb movie. I don't even know what it was. I was mad. Actually, I do know what it was. It was like it was like before the Lego movie. It was like some adult cartoon movie. I'm trying to remember. Those are funny. It was not funny. And then I was real mad. Anyway, so I went home crying, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Heartbroken. And
because you had planned your wedding already.
I had planned my wedding, and I was like, listen, I have a deposit on the venue. I'm 16.
What am I supposed to do?
What do I do with this now?
Bride.
Exactly.
Left
And
at the altar.
left at the altar.
What did Judy say?
And she said, so I tell her my entire sob story. And you know what she says back to me? She goes, life. You're really living it. And I thought, I was so filled with rage at the time. I was like, this is it? Here's
You are not taking this serious enough.
Exactly. I'm like, I think about it
perfect.
all the time. I think about it all the time because I'm like, it's true.
You were crushed.
I'm still crushed. Look at me. I have a tear in my eye. I'm still recovering from this. And I was like, nothing? I'm like, this is the time for unsolicited advice. I'm like, here, the door's open. Like, give me anything to go off
I'm
of.
expecting that. Don't let your boyfriend get in the way of your husband.
Exactly.
I want some profound...
Anything. Life. You're really living it. And I think about this all the time because I'm like, what are we doing here on the planet? Like, we're living a human experience. So it's like...
It's just one of the many feelings you get to feel.
One of the many things. And it's like, it's true. Like, live life all out. Get your heart broken during a weird, bad adult cartoon movie for a boy that you liked, that you didn't tell, that you liked.
That you made up some of the vibes.
100% of the vibes. I made up 100% of the vibes.
You fantasized.
I went too far. I went too far with that one.
We've all been there.
We've been there.
You know what? Delulu is the Salulu. Back at it. Okay, I have some rapid fire for you.
Yes.
Is there a song, beauty tip, piece of jewelry, etc. that makes you think of your matriarch?
No, there's
Oh my
not
gosh,
a single
I'm
thing.
sorry to ask
I know. I have really played this over this question because I am a podcast fan.
Yes.
And I love it. And I love to hear people's answers. And no, there is not. My mom's not big on music. She loves a classical in the background. You know, it makes me think of her audiobooks. Actually.
Well, I think...
There we go.
That's
There's
perfect.
the answer. Audiobooks. Not a specific audiobook. She just loves them.
Well, she's not really like a super into glam skincare, collecting jewelry. Like, I could see that about her, but I could see audiobooks.
She loves an audiobook. And I guess
that was very logical.
Exactly. Yes. Audiobooks. I love to listen to
the original podcast.
The original podcast. And this is like an only child problem, but I still use her library card to log in, download. I can't get my own. I memorized her. It was when I was like 7.
That's like using your parents' Netflix password.
100%. I'm using her library card, and I still, Libby app, shout out. We love it.
Love it.
Free audiobooks. And so she's always texting me like, your audiobook is ready for download. And I'm like, I'm in my 30s and I can't get my own library card. It's fine.
She loves it.
Yes.
She probably loves it. She's the string on your ankle.
Totally. She's the string on my ankle. She's like, keeping me.
She's betrothed.
Yes, exactly. But yes, so I'm always seeing all the books. She just blows through audiobooks. It's like so cute.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. What is one word to describe her?
Caring. Just like deeply in her core, caring. And like second word that you didn't ask for is thoughtful.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
That's her.
When is the last time you did something just for fun? And when's the last time you think she just did something just for fun?
I'm doing something just for fun right now. Currently,
we're here.
Flew to Arizona. Here we are. And before that, the last fun thing that we did, my mom and I went to Paris.
Yes.
A delight.
Now it's part of the business.
Listen, it's a write-off. Quite literally. Truly. I talked to my CPA.
For a buying trip.
And he said.
That is so thrilling.
All expenses qualify. So like,
boom.
Go ham. And so yes, we have worked into the business that every year I go to Paris on a buying trip for the store. And my mom comes. And we make it a girls' weekend. And let me tell you, I look forward to it all year long. I love Paris. I love sharing my love of Paris with my mom.
Such a special time.
It's such a special time. We really have had just too much fun.
Oh, I love that. Do you think it's possible to, quote unquote, do it all?
Absolutely not.
Do you think Judy does?
I mean, Judy might. If someone is to do it all, it's probably her. But no, I think she like pruned a lot of her wants, needs, and hobbies early in her life. And she's really focused all of her attention on like loving on other people, which I'm not necessarily saying that's like the best thing to do, but she like really likes pickleball. But
she's got a hobby.
She's got hobbies.
Come on.
Exactly. But no, I probably heard this on a podcast, but it really hit home thinking about there's no such thing as balance. I think we're all on that page now, but harmony is a word that I really like to think about, where it's like things need to work together in harmony. So it's like
it's ebbing, it's flowing, it's complementing.
Exactly. So just like make sure your life is in harmony. Not necessarily making sure that it's like, the percentages in the pie are similar.
That is such good advice. And a lot less pressure to be like, I have to have it all. I have to do it all. I have to be everything to everyone and operating at 100 out of 10 every day.
No chance.
It's impossible standards.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. Give up that dream. Wow. You're never going to do your laundry and put it away in the same day.
Now go. You vex me.
You vex me.
Shout out to Trent Delaney Smith, who is the funniest person on the internet. We quote you all the time. Not that you're listening, Trent. We're your biggest fan. This one goes out to you, but that was literally a comment she wrote on one of her videos, and
it's everything. It's the theme
it's
of the weekend.
It's the theme. Now go.
Now go.
Oh my gosh. This whole podcast is inside jokes that probably aren't funny to anybody but us, so I apologize. Okay, final question. If you could say anything to Judy, what would it be?
I would say thank you. I don't say it enough. Thank you for all of your help. I mean, thank you for putting our family so high on your importance and priority list. I don't think that I will ever be able to give back like what she did for me as a kid and as the preteen and as an adult. And, you know, how do you repay your parents? We don't know.
No, there's
you
no
don't.
way.
You just say thank you a lot and hope that they know that you mean it.
Oh.
I want to cry.
I love her. Oh, I love you. I want to squeeze her so tight. She's the best.
She's the best.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm glad we did. Judy's not feeling well right now, or else we would have put her on blast and called her on the phone, but she has no voice. But
she has no voice. She's got all the coughs.
Sweet
I know.
angel.
Would have called her and made her cry too, but she wouldn't. She's not into that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
long
for
time
having
coming.
me.
I'm so excited. We've been talking about podcasts for 10 years, so this is really full circle for us.
This is really full circle. And, you know, this is your podcast, but I'm going to do a shout out to you because I'm so proud of you.
Oh my goodness.
Here it is. Your guns. Listen, Courtney and I fill a lot of notebooks with a lot of ideas about things we're going to do one day and businesses we're going to make and create. Yeah. And I feel like the podcast has been on there for a minute.
So many years of
like, we're finally going to do it. And you're really doing it.
Somehow. Look at us.
You. We're doing it.
Figuring it out.
It's really good.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm happy to be in it and doing it. It's been so rewarding. And I love getting to gush on people and give people their flowers. And
it's
I love it. I love that you're here in person and not on Zoom so much better.
I know. And look, none of us would be here without our matriarchs.
That's right.
Shout out to the matriarchs.
So go call your mom or your grandma.
Exactly.
Or your mentor. Tell them you love them and you thank them for everything. And give them a hug if you can.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to see more of Katherine, you can follow her on Instagram at Katherine Oyer or at Frances Henri.
Yeah, if you have babies in your lives and you love to travel, you love international brands,
can travel to the World Wide Web, over to your website.
www.franceshenry.com. Or follow us on Shop Frances Henri.
It's Shop Frances.
Shop Frances Henri. I think there's a person somewhere out in the internet.
Named
Frances Henri.
Sorry, Frances.
Yeah, which is funny because when this is about the side quests, a story that nobody asked for, I registered my trademark and they almost denied it because they were like, you need to make sure that the person named Frances Henri is okay with this.
Oh.
Or like, if this is named after a person, you have to like do extra documentation. And I was like,
it's not.
Tisn't.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
So with that, I leave you. Thanks for listening, everybody. And go follow Katherine and pick up some cute baby children
clothes.
things. Love you lots. Thanks for everything.
Love you lots.
Bye. Have a great week, everybody.